like the kind of guy who knows his way around a deck. But you know what I think you still need? A little extra value.
Good luck with that pitch, sister. Have you seen who's behind you? And that's not even who you have to really worry about. Man, oh man, little lady, you've spent too long in the jungle.
This pack was revolutionary at the time, I swear.
For the uninitiated, Elise is the Night Elf member of the renowned League of Explorers, and ever since her initial release as Elise the Starseeker, she's always been the leading expert and brains behind the League. And her cards have represented this well, with her always coveting some sort of legendary artifact, with an adventure on which the players must embark to receive said artifact. The map to the Golden Monkey promises the greatest riches one can hope for, legendaries galore, and we all know that the Dragon border means that card is a card for winners. And at least the Trailblazer shuffles a pack into your deck. Yeah, there's not as much of a grandiose adventure there, but hey, we're going through Angoro, and maybe that's all the adventure context we need for that one. But as we saw, Elise is pretty upset nowadays. While the Starseeker is now available in Standard due to being in Core, her inclusion begs the question of why. I love Elise. She's one of the most iconic characters. She brings back tons of nostalgia. Both of her neutral cards were extremely innovative for their time, and both of them fulfilled their job of being a value engine for, grindy mid-range or control decks of the time. But you may have caught the key phrase at the end of that sentence, of their time. Look at Kazakusan, one of the few cards in Standard which is strictly used as a late game value generator. For the measly cost of playing a few dragons, your late game deck can be transformed into a smorgasbord of tantalizing, game-threatening, massively swingy treasures that truly give you the feeling that each card you're playing is worthy of being a part of such a powerful dragon's treasure trove. And this experience is incredibly fun. It's broken, it's bonkers, it's very game-threatening. And for your opponent, it's frustrating, because there really isn't any countering your treasures. There's no outvaluing a deck of treasures. If it wasn't for the fact that many decks can't Kazakusan and then tutor a treasure,
smoke weed every day.
Kazakusan would be an even larger problem, as many games come down to what treasure is my opponent going to top deck, and can he try to draw more? For your opponent, the game just flipped on its head, and it will always be an uphill battle versus cards that are inherently designed to be extremely powerful and punishing. And this is where the key point of this video finally comes together. What I just described about how fun and interesting the story is for Kazakusan, the experience for the player, how awesome the broken treasures are, and how fun it can be to draft what seems like an impossible to beat deck, Elise provided that same feeling at a much different time and in a much less frustrating way. The fundamental difference between these two, which made Elise a healthier card for the game, and a more pleasant experience for both players, was that Elise gave an advantage that was not instantly game-threatening. If a deck is greedy enough to be going for a value-centric game plan, one of the things blocking that deck from becoming an absolute terror is that the payoffs can't feel that unfair. They can't be that good. Elise's pack provides the player who opens it insane card advantage. 2 mana, essentially draw 5, is incredible in almost any situation, but the cards that one's getting on average are fairly weak. The combination of, I get all these resources at once, but they might not be that great, that's a worthwhile proposition for a deck looking for any amount of extra tools, right? And the fact that all these generated cards are ones that don't typically see play makes it much more fun for both players and much less frustrating to play against. Sure, sometimes your opponent will unpack the best removal answer, but most of the time they're going to unpack 2 Plated Beetles, a 5-drop, and like a Mortal Coil. You still have some extra threats and some tools at your disposal, but your opponent can still react accordingly. And while you're probably going to come out with either a card or board advantage in some way, the flow of the game didn't drastically sway in the same way as it does when Kazakusan comes down. While Elise is this incredible character with awesome mechanics, and I hope that every player gets the chance to experience Elise and the infinite value that a single Ngoro pack may bring, the game has fundamentally changed. This epic quest to get a reward, it's now its own mechanic in Sunken cards, and the value and consistency that those cards pack together in one package is insane compared to these past legendaries. When researching and writing up this video, I realized that really this topic is probably extremely niche. Not everyone, probably a vast majority of viewers watching this, or even a large amount of the game's player base themselves, may not have these same feelings for Elise. But even to all of those out there who may not know exactly what it felt like to open your first Ngoro pack, I hope I've been able to express how truly incredible it was. I have the fondest memories of playing Lyra Priest and shadow visioning extra Ngoro packs, memories of winning tournament matches with randomly generated Tyrantuses, and living by the skin of my teeth because of the humble plated beetle. Elise the Trailblazer is the card that I would use to describe Hearthstone as someone for the first time. It encompasses so much about the game that I enjoy. The rush of opening a pack and seeing what's inside. The incredible feeling of being able to play a grindy, greedy deck with no win condition and somehow still getting there. Packaged in a thematic way with really incredible animations. It's RNG that looks professional and gives me a story and everything. It's exactly what I want from Hearthstone. Whether or not the game ever returns to a point where something as slow and clunky as old Elise can relive its past glory, I hope I've not only been able to express the feelings and emotions that I have wrapped up in this silly little value card, but that I've also raised awareness of an interesting downside to making the game more efficient. As the game speeds up, value dies. The game will continue to develop, and I'll be along for the ride no matter which way it takes me. But this example can easily be used to show how every change to a game or a system can have unintended consequences. Even ones that the average player may not see, but designers should be very wary that they have created. There is now a design space issue for value cards. The proposition is that they have to be at the level of Kazakusan to see play. And for cards where part of their innate value is that they aren't broken, they aren't unfair, you're winning through lots of little extra pieces of random shit instead of having a really focused game plan, it kinda ruins the whole idea. So I hope at some point we get some sort of reincarnation of Elise, a value card in the truest sense, where you're really taking any tools at your disposal and using them to win, rather than stacking the deck in your favor. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Well, damn. I wonder what was in her pack anyways.